All right, Sid, welcome back. New location. Thanks for this new location.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back to the new location.
Dude, I've been talking about this a lot, and we haven't gotten your public, like your involvement. I've talked a lot about it on my stories. I've talked a lot about it on my YouTube, about all the work that you've done and all the changes. People were really freaked out for a while. There's a lot of people really freaked out about these new changes that the DEA was coming down about telemedicine in general. A lot of people were thinking like it was testosterone specific, but I learned that it was not correct. It was telemedicine was really the thing.
Well, unfortunately, testosterone is a controlled 3, which is in the same class as Xanax and Valium. And because of the stigma from years and years ago on testosterone, that's why it fell into that category. And we know now that if you inject a 30-day dose of testosterone, you don't die. But if you swallow a 30-day dose of Valium, you do.
Which was happening when people were freaking out, right?
Mm-hmm. And, you know, on one side of me, I'm actually proud of the public for being concerned about this, because it just shows how much testosterone has impacted them and how they were scared of not being able to gain access to it. And the one thing I can tell you, not to pat myself on the back, but I promise you no one's going to lose access. I'll figure out a way with our team, and we're going to work diligently to make sure that there's no interruption in protocols. And at the end of it all, man, it was a big scare for...
Well, here, let's go back. What was the initial thing that they were talking about? Like, what was the initial thing that they were saying?
So during COVID, it was wide open. Telemedicine was like a real thing, right? Because people didn't want to go in offices. And once that happened, you know, we had multiple offices across the country. I couldn't sustain, so we had to follow the lead of telemedicine and pivot and, you know, hire 10 PAs and 2 more doctors and interstate medical licensing compacts and licensing everywhere. And basically we thought that was going to be the way of the world. And then all of a sudden the Emergency Act stops and they propose a new law that states you need a referral from your primary care physician stating that you are a candidate for testosterone, and they needed to diagnose you. So
which is the reason why CORE is what it is because nobody has the education in hormones to diagnose people or even treat them.
Yes, I mean, it's that, and also how can you ask a general practitioner who is a general practitioner to diagnose someone with low testosterone? It really didn't make any sense. And you know, my analogy is all right, you go in and to your GP and you're like, hey man, you know, I'm having massive headaches. What does he do? Diagnose you with a brain tumor? No, you go see a specialist.
Right.
So there was enough pushback to where it looks like that's on the back burner now. I can talk about the proposed law, what I feel like it's going to look like. You can't hold me to it in a few minutes, but
before we did that, you did, and I've told everybody this, man, you did a phenomenal. Like, we thought that it was going away, and that we had to pivot and figure out a way to maintain our
patient base,
our patient base, and understand and continue care for the ones that were on with us. And you worked for, dude, I want to say you were pulling your hair out for months working on it but you did it. You before they reneged, you came up with a whole freaking solution and everything.
I mean, I got to tell you, it probably took 10 years off my life. And I've never been, I was concerned. And I was more concerned, to be honest, not about the law changing. I was more concerned about telling people they couldn't have medication, which is more of a risk than.
Well, yeah, and we have a huge veteran base, and kind of going back to, and I can speak on that, kind of going back to their whole proposal of like you needed your GP to diagnose you and then treat you and all this kind of stuff. Like the VA, if you can get through the VA, it takes you a couple years, but the standing policy of the VA is no, we'll just treat you with SSRIs and pain meds to cover up symptoms. They'll just treat the symptoms. And then if they do get testosterone, you'll get like 100 milligrams every 2 weeks or 25 milligrams every 3 weeks, which does what?
No, I mean, it's your estrogen dominant, maybe your peaks and valleys. The really hard side of it is that if your cholesterol goes up or your PSA goes up or your estradiol goes up, they just take you right off of it again.
So you're just constantly yin-yanging you and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's why it's important to be somebody who understands.
Yeah, no, I mean, So the hard part is like I have a relationship with a lot of our patients, right? We have a lot of vets. We have a lot of, first responders. We have a lot of civilians like myself that I freaking love, right? And they're all over the country, right? So what we've did during COVID is we really dialed in on the states that we know that we can operate in. We've minimized down to that. We've become part of the Interstate Medical Licensing Compact. We've now hired an ex-DEA agent that's been with the DEA, works for a major consulting group. He was the head of controlled substances and for the DEA, is now a consultant at Core Medical. We've done all these things. And then a day after my birthday, I get a phone call and it was all
never mind.
We'll just extend the law a little bit here.
But was that because of people were down in bottles of Xanax and freaking out and just the.
I mean, so the way I see it's this is they wanted a form to be completed or someone to go into your office. And now think about the cleanup that any organization that's doing controlled substances, not just hormones, right?
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot of cleanup involved there.
That's probably actually the smallest area of all of it, I would say.
To everyone that doesn't really get it, telemedicine, in my opinion, is better medicine. Everyone shows up to their appointment. They're in the comfort of their home, their car, or their private office. They're vulnerable. We now, instead of having to have 20 people waiting in that front room of the office, all frustrated, when am I going to go in? When am I going to go in? Can see everyone timely and spend more time with them. We can touch more people annually. The only thing that's missing is, your heart rate, and the doctor touching you, getting your blood pressure, things like that, which we've now come up with a solution for, which we're going to be requiring a physical exam on an annual basis from your GP. That's not even a law requirement as of right now, but we are going to put that into place. It's just, in my opinion, it's better medicine.
What I've noticed, like on a personal basis, being a patient as well, is just you're just more real.
Yeah.
Like you're more honest. I feel like you're more honest. And the people that I've worked with that came over to Core said it's just like, it's a different relationship when you're talking to the PA or the doc, how you communicate, because you're just more open about all the shit you're dealing with.
So we've all had the guys out there have all had their like testes checked out, right? Right. And like, and
it depends on your age and what unit you're in, maybe semester stuff.
Yeah. So like as soon as you know that's about to happen, like you like clam up and all of a sudden you're just like, I'm not telling this guy anything. I just want to get this over with, right?
Yeah. In and out. How fast can I get this out? Yeah.
But meanwhile you're getting, headaches and you're having stomach problems and you're just not even talking about them.
Or sexual frustration with your partner. Yeah.
And then when you go for that, there's a nurse in the office staring at you while you're getting it done, right? So the nice part about telemedicine is yes, we're requesting you to still get that done, but we can take the time with you and slow down with no pressure of things like that happening. Yeah. And it's actually been a big deal, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback from it. And I'm proud of our staff tremendously. I mean, our med staff is unbelievable. I mean, I haven't had a complaint from that department in years. So.
No, once you're in, you're in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is the process now? And then we'll talk about what it's going to be and hypothetically and whatever.
Yeah. So the process now basically is you come aboard through a strategic partner, Nick, a Mel Chansey, Jason Redman, in social media, and you get a phone call back, or you schedule with one of our patient specialists that's going to go through the entire process with you, explain what to expect, how it works. Then you'll be getting a blood rec that's going to come out to you. If you're not in the area of a normal lab, then we can send you blood in a box. You can go to any hospital, same as before. Once that comes back, schedule a telemedicine visit. If you're a first-time patient, probably 30 to 40 minutes. Existing patients, once you come aboard, it's probably about 20 to 25 minutes. Protocol put together for you, and at that time, we'll let you know that you'll be getting one round of medication, and then you'll be required to get us at least an exam that is no older than 6 months old, or a new exam from your primary care physician, so that we can see that someone's.
That's just like an overall your annual physical stuff.
Exactly. We just want to make sure people have a relationship with their physician, and the physician knows what's going on with them, and they're not just, not getting completely checked. And that's a core thing. That's not a DEA thing right now.
So that is not a
requirement at DEA.
requirement right now. We're just adding that to make sure that everything is covered. And then they push this whole change back to when?
November 24th is supposed to come out with a proposed change. It looks like there's going to be a large portion. It looks like there's going to be a portion of people that are going to be grandfathered in. Anyone that did telemedicine during the Emergency Act would be grandfathered in, and not have to go through whatever hoops and bounds are going to put in.
What if somebody signed up today?
Somebody that signed up today, it's still the unknown. And for right now, people that own these other clinics out there, they're like, yeah, great, we can just keep running it. Well, for me, I want to know what I got to do, man. Like, Like,
what do we got to set up now to make sure we're taking care, everybody's taken care of?
We're just really taking the suggestions of the consulting group and doing everything that we could possibly do to try to be prepared and be able to clean up whatever we have to clean up so that people can continue on with therapy. Interruptions in business like this, really show you real quick what you're capable of. Like this was a rough one. I mean, I was really concerned and we overcame it, and it was another good lesson for me just to understand that, Sid, everything's always going to be okay. Like, it's just the way it works.
When you work hard and dig in, like, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. And it takes a long time to be really comfortable owning a business.
Yeah.
And then you get thrown a curveball like this that you never expected, and you're just like a little bit uncomfortable again.
How did the team kind of going into that, like the trials and tribulations of running a business, especially of this size, right? Like, we have a huge team. Over the last really 4 years, it's really, really grown.
I mean, tremendously. So it's funny, like, Jax is like seeing me go crazy. She's like, "Don't worry, you'll figure it out." All the staff's like, "Sid, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out."
I feel bad. I feel bad because I said the same thing.
Don't worry, man. You're gonna be fine. You'll figure it out.
Like you're stressed. I feel the stress. I'm like, dude, don't worry. You're gonna figure it out. And you're like, fuck.
That's exactly what it was. And I feel like everyone got together and all came up with that same answer. So that I had no choice but to figure it out. But
no pressure, Sid. You're gonna figure it out.
No, it was good. And I was kind of happy about having it all organized and ready to go under like the extreme circumstances that it was, and that made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, let's just take a step back. One of my partners is like, just let's not do anything. Let's just take it easy. So unfortunately, with the DEA, they don't really know how to handle a situation like that, because if you think about it, they've never been in a situation like this.
Yeah, right.
Right. So like they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to deal with all these 2,200,000 comments that they're getting. They're trying to talk to the boards and try to figure out what's best for people.
I was going to say there's hundreds of thousands of like complaints, right?
Yeah, there is. And it's not just from clinics, it's from the patients. Like I was averaging 15 emails and phone calls a day directly to me when the proposed information came out.
I can't imagine what the coordinators were getting.
It was insane. And we send out emails and tried to explain things, but I mean, it just goes to show you how important testosterone is in people's lives these days. I mean, I'd figured out miserably, but if I couldn't take my, shot of test a week, I'd probably not be the top of my game. I mean, just think about.
I came before I was with Core. Remember, I came off to have Dimitri, which note that doesn't have to happen. There's a protocol for that. Just FYI, this is before Core. I mean, look at Vince. Vince has got like 18 kids.
Yeah, he does have 18 kids. He might also cheat a little bit with his testosterone.
But nonetheless, it's not necessary. And but when I did come off, dude, I'm like, my whole team was just like, fucking just quit, Nick. Jeez, like this is miserable. So it kind of leads me into like, if you're owning a business, I know we're talking about Core and everything that's going on, but for the entrepreneurs out there that are, I would say Sid 20 years ago or Sid 15 years ago, like the importance of determination and like that whole mindset of like, listen, we'll, figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean so like I've been.
What are you gonna do? Like just roll it? Like throw your like?
I mean, listen. The reality of it is, I mean, I work. I love my staff. I have a lot going on. I've killed myself for been self-employed now for about 25 years, and I'm saying this to toot my horn, but like, I love the business that we're in, Nick. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like the messages what we get, like the feedback we get. It's not even from the patients, from like the kids and the mother. Like, what'd you do to my dad? Like, you know, he's playing baseball with me. I'm going fishing again. Like, experiencing things I've never experienced with him before. And, you know, goes the other way. Females, husband call us up. They're like, hey man, my wife was like freaking experiencing hot flashes. It was like insane in my house, dude. I didn't know what to do. Like, and now
you gave us our relationship back. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a great feeling.
Yeah, you told me something that really hit me probably a couple years ago. You're like, I don't have the luxury of like not being okay because I have too many people that rely on me.
Yep.
Like they just think about the first order effects your family, the second order effects like the team at Core. Like you employ a lot of people and pay people really well to have a good life and to serve people, right? And then you have the patients themselves. Yep. Like, and if you just fuck up or you go sideways,
that ripple effect is an ugly ripple effect.
Yeah, man. Like there's a lot of people relying on you to be who you are.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that.
Do you feel that pressure?
Oh
though?
yeah. No, I mean, I feel that pressure, but so like when you start a business, and I've been talking a lot about this. When you start a business, it's called the oh fuck, am I gonna figure this shit out? Because if not, I'm in deep trouble. Yeah. Like you put if you don't feel that way and you didn't go all in right off the bat, like I talk to a lot of people like, hey, I'm just going to go try this business out while I'm working somewhere else and like no, dude, you need to go all in. You need to be like back against the wall unless your mom and dad are going to give you $1 million to start the thing, which typically ends in a fizzling off effect.
Right.
Right. And you need to be like, oh my God, I really have to figure this out. And if I don't, like, there's no alternative. Like that's the way that I run my shit. Right. And then all of a sudden, day by day, week by week, year by year, that starts getting better. Right. And now your family, your little nest egg of your family, just like you were talking about before, and that whole effect was, okay, my family's good. My business can support my family. And now your focus is on your staff, making sure your staff is in a comfortable place. Because when your staff's not in a comfortable place, you have that turnover, right? So you want to make sure, in my opinion, everyone feels comfortable. They feel like they're being paid properly. You know, if they need something, they can come to you. You do things out of the norm. You separate yourselves from other business owners. And then once you have that comfort and you know you have that team in place, then you can kind of come off the gas and you can really focus on educating people about the industry you're in and not be so worried about making money off of people. Because once you go from that salesy position of like, you know, I got to push people to use me to that educating place. That's
the service side of things.
The service side of things. That's what's happened in the last 4 years. We've gone from like this to that because no matter what, our block of business right now is insane. Our staff is okay. My family's good forever. Like
just take care of people.
Now we're just taking care of people. And like I spoke
because like if you look at, so let's talk about it. To those that don't know, like the core team, the patient coordinators, the PAs, the fronters, like everybody that is involved with core. Like, dude, it's like you created your own mob. Like these people are like loyal as shit to the company.
Yeah, no,
like ridiculous. Like they will come over and take your trash out. They will do, like I've watched them on events. Like they're all in all the time. They're loyal as hell. So like, how did you create this like team instead of employee mindset? This like team player. Like it's all for and we've talked about that with like, you know, sales reps being like not in core, but outside sales reps being like, no, these are my leads and my money and this and that. Yeah. And it's like, no, motherfucker. Like you're like, no, motherfucker. Like, this is a team. You're like, you're on the team, bro.
Exactly.
It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's about what is best for the team. So how did you create? Like,
it's the Tom Brady mindset. It's not Edelman. It's not Gronkowski. It's the Patriots, right? And you know, that stuck with me when he said that, like, you know, 5 or 6, 7 years ago. And I think about that a lot, right? So like, you know, we've talked about me focusing on my staff members' bandwidth, not mine, like figuring out ways to make them more effective. Minimizing personalities in the office is a big thing. So like what I knew, so I started off, you know, your sales team is really the grounds of the growth of a business, right? And without patients coming through the door and people being treated properly and having a good environment inside the office, a company fails pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Those are components that like are a must component.
Like 1 to 3 years, you're done.
Yeah. So like I bring Matt aboard and we were a slow grower. Like these people, a lot of people are like, let's just hire 10 sales guys and let's get after it, right? We were slow growers. And Matt came in, he's been with me forever. He understands my mindset, right? And I listen to them, and then we bring in Mike, and then he understands that mindset. And then once you have like 4 or 5 guys come in the office and they're all in the same mindset, we have the same goals, we have the same beliefs, and we've seen the proof of concept, then it's really easy to hire because now you have like pretty much everyone on the same page. No one's talking shit in the office because there's 4 guys in the office that like all are in the same mindset.
Right.
And when
it's a culture. You're building a culture inside the company.
And like the community, I tell everyone, you have a great job, man. Well, I don't make I'm not making as much as I want. Well, how's the environment? Oh, the environment's amazing. You can't put a price tag on the environment.
Yeah.
Even though, we take good care of our staff, that environment's super important. Like that's why noon every Friday, guys, go home. Please just go home. If you want to work from home, fine, just go home, get out of the office. Like that small stuff like that really like helps people understand that they're valuable. I want them to enjoy their families and their friends.
Yeah,
and stuff
Friday
like
afternoon, you're usually on the boat with everybody or out of the water or doing something.
I've been on the boat a long time, but I'm thinking about this weekend. But yeah, that environment is really important. And what's also really important is that like when you build that environment and then you get to do events and stuff like that, and our patients get to see the environment, they really pick up on it. Like, Cody said to me during the event, which was fucking awesome. He's like, "Hey Sid, dude, I'm all in with you, dude. I see your team like they're all in, and like to find like a business that is just so concerned all about the same cause is like is super difficult, and it's nice to see that, to have that not go unnoticed, because sometimes you think, am I doing a good enough job here, and I mean I feel like it at this point, like there's the internal staff members. Geez, these guys are helping so much, like with the growth of this business. It's been amazing. It's taken a lot of pressure off of me.
So talking about like the team, and the team going above and beyond, I want to highlight, if you're cool with it, I want to highlight like creating that culture of service, that it's not just a job, that you're serving people and changing people's lives, and really, really paying attention. Something happened recently with a veteran patient. With one of our medical professionals, she found something.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes.
Yeah, and how that is really going above and beyond, and really, really paying attention. And
so yeah, I mean, I talked about this not too long ago, but so if you're a male out there or a female out there, and you're hearing this podcast, and you have a loved one, a son who's in their 30s, or a husband who's in their 30s. And they're not getting their PSA checked out. This is number one. I'm going to get into a more in-depth example in a second. Make sure their general practitioner is checking their PSA on an annual basis through their blood work, because what happens is that blood work typically, or the PSA isn't checked, and if it is elevating gradually over a period of time, there's a chance something could be wrong there, and no one gets their PSA checked any longer until they're in their 40s typically,
which is stupid.
It's too late. We've caught over 35 cases of prostate cancer in men under the age of 40 that I know of. I get a Christmas card from 2 or 3 of them each year. And then we had a veteran patient come through the door about 6 months ago, and our medical staff has backgrounds in just about everything, including general practice and derm and things like that. And we try to pair people up with the right person, and then every protocol is overlooked by the chief of medicine, blood work. Well, in this case, one of my PAs was looking at elevated blood levels, and was speaking with the patient, and said, you need to go see a neurologist immediately. And it turned out that the patient had a tumor, and the patient saw his GP within the last 6 months of that
and
diagnosis, and nothing. And, the guy went in, got it removed, and he's good to go.
Yeah, I saw the letter from the family that came out. It was rad.
It was rad. I mean, that's why when it comes to the clinical side of things, like I'm like, hey guys, you just handle this. You know, I'll handle the business relationships and making sure the staff doesn't.
But that's the thing is like that was not in the normal, that was above and beyond to really pay attention to. And that's what kind of sets it. And then kind of going in my next thing, what sets Core apart is you've created this culture of service to the patient and service to really humanity. And that's kind of trickled down to not just the way that they interact with people and each other.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's the way that they do their work. Exactly. And that's like, it's hard for me to explain because I'm always like, well, why go with Core? I'm like, because we're fucking different, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, look, we do a lot of things to be as cost effective as possible. We're a large company, you know, I fight really hard, you know, to keep pricing where it's going to be across the board. 80% of the people that leave us due to price come back to us because their customer service somewhere else is terrible. And these smaller clinics can afford to, you know, discount the value, you know, do a non-batch tested or thoroughly tested bottle of testosterone, which is still legal, which is mind-blowing, that they'll do, and things like that. And you know, for the savings of $40 or $50, you know, a month, it's bothersome to me, but at the same time, like, we're here with open arms when you're ready to come back.
well, and let me talk about that real quick. Like, and that kind of goes into what sets Core Medical apart from the other businesses, because these other companies, these really flashly, and I'll give it to them, man. Their marketing is on point. They have these little quizzes that you take, and you take a quiz, and the next thing you know, you're good, and they send you a testosterone pill in a box that's white labeled. You don't know what it is, and these companies, and we've talked about them, and it's like, you know, I'm not going to say the names, but you guys all know who they are. But they literally, you get this like cookie cutter box in the mail. It's super cheap up front.
Yep.
And then what happens?
I mean, it's graduated chaos, I like to call it. Like they so like what they want to do is it's basically, I just want to take $1 from you.
Yeah.
And then slowly there's an increase in cost across the board. Customer service is minimized. It's a gym membership. You know, if you call, you call. If you don't, you don't.
What is that? What do they actually get? Do you even know what they're getting?
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of delivery forms for testosterone, and you know, a lot of clinics out there that are not going to follow the new laws, that are not even following the legit telemedicine laws. Like 80% of the clinics out there aren't even licensed in the states that they're practicing telemedicine.
You take a quiz and then you get this medicine in the mail.
So here's the thing. The big problem is this, right? So let's just, Core's licensed in every state that we practice in, okay? Our physicians and our PAs.
You pay a license.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Every state that we practice in, DEA licensed in every state that we practice in. So if you're a consumer and you're using a clinic that is not fully licensed in the state, and that clinic is to get in trouble, okay, or there's an issue there, and another clinic happens to be using the same pharmacy, and there's an issue, the ripple effect on other humans is freaking terrible.
Yeah.
You have to think about, now I got to go find another pharmacy. I got to go do this. I got to go do that, because, you know, they're penalized, they're suspended, they're in an audit. Like, do the research, make sure who you're using is
a medical clinic
above board.
Yeah.
Like, and
that's why I usually tell people, I'm like, well, the reason why it is the way that it is one, where it's an actual medical clinic. Okay,
exactly.
You know, it's not just a testosterone company. It's a medical clinic.
You know, my response, especially at these events, is like, so I'll have Nick Kay, Mel Chansey, Cody Alfred, Vincent Rocavargas, and then Mel Chansey, okay? Like, some of the most high-end celebrity vets in the country work with Core Medical. If you don't know that,
Google it, motherfucker.
Yeah, Google it. And then you have Mel Chansey. If you know about Mel Chansey, that dude ain't getting in trouble again.
No.
No. So the fact that I have these guys that have spent the majority of their life behind a firearm overseas, you know, in training and this, that, and the other, and given up so much, and now have the ability to pick probably any clinic they want because they believe in this product and they choose Core, says a lot for the quality of care that we provide, right? So With that being said, like, just slow down and think about it. Are you coming aboard to a clinic that just is giving you a great price, or are you coming aboard to a clinic that has some quality of care?
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
And that's what I've always, and from the business side of things, I'm always like, because I help on the business side of things as well. And I'm 100%. I've pushed like, well, we could tighten things up this, and we could scale and do more patients. And the one thing that I'll give you is, you've always stuck true to the way that we handle patients, which makes it more difficult, because it makes more difficult to handle more patients, because it is a requirement for you to have a person-to-person touch point. There is no automation. And that's what I've tried, it's hard through social media, because well, I could go to this company and I put in a quiz and I get it. It's like, yeah, that's what you're going to get, what you pay for, and you're going to get with that result. But with Core, you're like, no, you're talking to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, you could also go on the street and buy it. You know what I mean? So we're not for everybody.
Right.
If you want to follow the rules, not put other people in jeopardy, come aboard. We do the best we can.
That's the biggest thing that's what I try to explain to everybody is like, listen, it's not a cookie cutter thing. Like, one, your blood work is your blood work. Like, well, how much is it going to cost? Do your blood work.
The thing is so our blood work ranges anywhere between $199 and $399 for blood work. Okay. And everyone's so concerned about what they're going to get from their blood work. Right. And then you ask them, well, when was the last time you did your blood work? Like 10 years ago.
Oh my God, dude.
I was just at an event, and there was multiple police officers that haven't had their blood work done in 4 or 5 years. I'm like, you all out of shape.
I think I've talked to you about this before. Like, I wish that they would have forced us to do blood work annually, like Core style of blood work, 27 panel blood work test every year, going like from the 18 to now.
You would have had too many people not re-sign contracts.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's why. Yeah. It was a retention play.
It was a retention play.
It was a retention play.
But no, I mean, now it's like now we're digging in pretty deep with the community, and now it seems to be more of a household request through a lot of our operators. And
I know now it's getting really serious.
It's getting serious. Yeah. And with the blood work, my thing is now, my new slogan for a long time is, I challenge you to get your blood work done. Like, I challenge you to do it. Like, because that's the thing. You might not need anything.
Yeah.
But just get the blood work done.
Well, and that's the thing is like, well, they have all these symptoms. How much is it going to cost me? I don't know. Get your blood work done. It'll tell the story, and then we'll go from there. You might need, like you said, you might need nothing. You might need a little something. Or you might need a lot.
The scary part is when the guy's like 35 and he's like, hey, I got these symptoms going on. You're like, dude, you need to get your blood work done. Like, just please get your blood work done. Well, my doctor won't add all these additional, stuff to the test, and insurance won't cover it. Dude, it's $299, man. What you're telling me could be a lot more than just testosterone deficiency.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because it also comes down to like, well, my test is 280. What will it do? I'm like, well, okay, what is your LH? What is your FSH? What is your SBHG? Like, there's a lot more, and guys don't really realize that. And that's the reason why, like, I get frustrated at the VA. I get frustrated at these other places because they just go off one number. I'm like, your testosterone might be a 750, but what if your SBHG is nothing?
Or, I talk about this too. Like, let's just say you're for the guys out there that are scared and they're 30 years old, your testosterone comes back at 750, but that's your total testosterone. Whenever you ask someone what their testosterone level is, they're not like, my free testosterone's 35, because they don't understand.
No, they don't understand.
Right? So you have a free, you have a total. Total is your reserve tank. It really means not much, right? The big things are if there's something interfering with it. Sexual and binding globulins are clogged. That's an issue. All right. Or your free testosterone is super low. Your total's real high. There's things that we can do really inexpensively to change the way you feel immediately. And
I think that was, I don't know if that was your analogy or I made that up, but we were talking about that because you were explaining it to me years ago. The guy's testosterone might be 750. A normal person looks at it and they go, oh, you're fine.
You're fine, exactly.
You're fine. But then you look at it and your sex binding hormone globulin is tanked. And I think you said like it's like having a Ferrari. Cool, you have a great car,
Can't afford
great
to put gas in
engine.
it.
That or you have 4 flat tires.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't use it.
Exactly. Please make sure if you're using any other clinic, you can call us. We'll educate you. We don't care where you go. I really, honestly don't. Just get the proper treatment, and our panels are available. We'll send them to you on a first call. Like, we don't care. And when your protocol is put together, make sure you're really taking the time to understand the protocol. The person explaining it to you really understands what's going on. Not like, hey, take this, inject this 3 times a week. No, what is the drug going to do? How is it going to work? What side effects can I expect, if any? Like, those are the questions you should be asking as a consumer.
I was going to ask you can we talk about some of those side effects? Because I'm in my comments all the time, and yeah, on my social media, like there's tons of comments.
So one side effect, one thing I won't even address anymore, because I'm really, really sick of hearing, is like, you're going to have a heart attack if you take testosterone.
Yeah,
right?
that's like the stupidest one ever.
And it happens all the time, guys. Everything in your body, basically around your organs, including organs, is muscle. Muscle gets atrophy, causes old age. As we get older, we get atrophy. Muscle tissue dies off. Testosterone at the right dose, not abusing. We don't want too much muscle. We don't want too little muscle. Causes you to slow down atrophy, which actually equals longer life extension. So like, those things there are proven facts. Don't go to a forum to listen to a guy selling black market testosterone, or some woman who's somebody's son who passed away from abusing testosterone. Don't listen to that person, because you're selling yourself short. It could be like the right treatment for you, but because you heard that, you're not understanding the real medicine behind it. So take the time to get a telemedicine visit. Go see a practitioner that understands the medicine. It's not hard to find the right people.
You're so nice the way you say that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, no, dude, it's your fucking donuts and your cheeseburgers and your pizza and your beer and all the shit that's going to give you a fucking heart attack. It's not testosterone.
Yeah, and
that's
90% of the time, it's the person that is obese.
It's right. It's your lifestyle. You're fucking fat with your big man titties. Like, unfuck your diet and on your health, and take care of yourself. Take some personal responsibility. Like, no, this thing is going to kill me. No, your lifestyle is going to kill you. But that's Nick speaking, and because I talk about it all the time, it frustrates me.
The other side effects.
Well, I want to talk about the one that I've been getting a lot recently.
Excuse me.
Is blood pressure.
Okay, so testosterone can increase your blood pressure 100%.
Like, my blood pressure is like fucking on point. But
so what's really important is, and I'm not a doctor, and this is what our clinical team suggests, is keep a close eye on your blood pressure your first 10 weeks of TRT. There's other things that you can be taking while being on TRT that can counteract higher blood pressure. We don't know what they are, because there could be 10 different things.
Again, if you're overweight and your lifestyle is already messed up in the first place.
Yep.
Yeah.
So obesity plus testosterone can equal higher blood pressure, because now you might be being more active. Things could be changing. So typically what we do there is, if your blood pressure does go up, we will slowly lower your dose of testosterone. And then 75% of the time we'll graduate you back up once you start to drop pounds and get back in shape. But it can also be a temporary thing, too. So
you said something before. It was like part of the pie. It was like 3-part pizza, like 3 pieces of the pie, right? You have your hormones, you have your nutrition, you have your fitness. Like, they all go together. If you really, really want to get the most out of each individual one, they all 3 have to be on point.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people this: look, you don't have to be going to the gym every day.
No.
To start testosterone, because it's gonna kick in and you're gonna want to start going to the gym. But once you start it, really take advantage of it. Like, don't be taking your testosterone and buying all these peptides.
And you're not talking about being like a professional athlete. You're just like,
45 minutes in the gym, a brisk walk. 3
be active in life, move your body in life. Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan said something not too long ago, and he's like, and I did it when I flew to Spokane, and it was like, oh my God, I wish I knew this. So I flew from Fort Lauderdale to Spokane, time change, had to speak pretty much same day. And he said, as soon as I get off of a plane, the first thing I do is I work out. And if I can get in a sauna or a cold tub, I do it right away. And that is my, don't even try to get me to do anything until I can get that done.
Even if it's a late night flight, I do it. I have to, because it just resets you.
And man, I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. No jet lag, nothing.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. So let's put it this way. If that is such a tremendous impact on a travel, a 1 day, 2 day travel, and you decide that, I can't go for a 35-minute walk, 40-minute walk, go throw the ball around with my kid, go to the gym for 45 minutes. Like, that's kind of, if I'm willing to do that after flying all day and you're not willing to go for a walk around your neighborhood, man, you need to reevaluate your shit.
Yep. Concur.
So, Mel's crazy too. Like he's at these shows taking pictures all day, and I've gone to a few of the shows, and I'm calling him in the morning at like 6. Hey, you want to get something? He's like, I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, dude, you're like 70. You make me feel like an asshole. and
he's not 70.
No, he's not 70. He looks amazing. I mean, the guy looks amazing. And I'm like, man. So then, after seeing that and hearing that a couple of times, guess what? It motivated me. And now I do the same shit.
It's infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hard work's infectious.
If you're hanging around a bunch of people that aren't going to be motivate you, get you in a better direction, reevaluate that group or make a change to the group, be a leader.
Can I, let's dig into that. I like that line of conversation. What's your take on who your friends are and who your circle is? Well, from and where you are in life now, comparative maybe to where you were 20 years ago.
So I can call any one of my friends and ask them, hey, do you want to work out today when we got off work at 5? And it'll be at my house or at a gym or wherever. And there's not one person that'll say no. I have one person. Now
to include myself.
Now, the types of workouts as I've gotten older have changed a little bit, sure. Right? So it sounds weird. Like I train more or less now to hunt, which is weird, right? So most people do like, you train to hunt? Yeah, I mean, I know what my body needs. I know what I can't overdo, so I can spend 150 days in the woods or whatever the hell it is that I do.
Yeah, Sid, for about 90 days, I lose track of Sid during hunting season.
Yeah, my best ideas come from those days though. And then, but like, for instance, like, like understand your body, know what you can do. Like I can call like Nick, as soon as he said, I'm coming down to see you, he's like, all right, we're going to train Wednesday morning. Yep, done. Like he was making plans to train jiu-jitsu in the office right when he got there with one of my staff members. Even people that don't work with me, he has a circle down here that he can go train with. Like it's important, like that healthy lifestyle is important. Also, when you go to eat, how many of your friends, Nick, want to go to McDonald's and eat every day?
None of them.
Okay. I mean, I ate McDonald's French fries. Well, I tried to get McDonald's French fries the other day.
Dude, we don't need to tell that story. Let's not tell that story. But not because of McDonald's French fries, something else. But yeah. We get kicked off of Spotify for telling that story.
Exactly. So so the reality of it is that like your circle is important. It's and the ripple effect internally there. I talk about that a lot. If you have friends that are bringing McDonald's to your house and your kids are seeing it all the time, that's not helping your family. Your kids are seeing it. Oh, yeah. Uncle Mike, Uncle Matt, Uncle Brandon. He brings McDonald's over to my house all the time. I want that. He's overweight. He doesn't work out. Like, what type of community are we breeding? It's too easy to do that type of stuff. Challenge yourself. Like instead of sitting on the sofa for 3 hours after work, dude, stand in front of the sofa, watch TV, and do some fucking burpees.
Yeah. Like,
challenge yourself. Get your blood work done. Challenge yourself.
Would you be where you are today if you hung around different individuals?
No, I've been in that direction in life, and so have you. Yeah. And like we know, direction change is a hard thing. Change in general is a hard thing. One of the most difficult things that I've ever done in my life is learn how to completely write off individuals very quickly. Like now I don't even have to think about it. I don't feel bad about it anymore. the self-cleansing lifestyle in my circle, I'm proud of. If you're a staff member, don't pull your weight, you're gone. If you're a friend and you're off-centered and we can't find a common ground, you're gone.
Or even, I've watched it, even people have fucked up ethics and personal morals. You're like, no, I can't be associated with that.
Well, you know, a lot of people are like, well, he treats me nice. Well, yeah, but he's going home and beating the fuck out of his wife, dude. Like, well, what are you talking about? Yeah, why don't you just sign off on that and take him out to dinner? Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, right. There's shit like that. So, I mean, you really have to think about that in detail there. Like, and
somebody said when you know, and the thing is somebody referred to you as an assassin when it comes to stuff like that, like how fast you can cut. But the reality is, you give people
a lot of chances,
man. A lot of chances, but then you like, when you're done, you're done.
The other thing too is like, you know, inside business, if I can give a small trick, if you're going to hire somebody, there's ways to get to know them before you hire them.
Yeah.
Like, what risks are you taking on? Like, and is that person going to come and taint that office space? Like, it's hard to really come in and destroy core medical because, you know, we pick up on that real quick, right? But,
they won't like the culture you've created, they'll almost run themselves out. You don't even have to do anything at this point. Yeah.
Nothing. But the thing is that there's ways to understand where people's mindset are when they call the interview and the first thing is, hey, what's the pay? Like, what's your value? You know?
Yeah.
Like, and I come from a lifestyle of like, I had to prove myself before I ever made any money in life. Like,
yeah.
You know, my story is like, I legitimately did not have a chair until I sold the deal back in the day. They took my chair away, and then I got my chair back, and sometimes it would be 3:30, and I'd be going home at 6. I'd be standing all day.
Yeah.
Like, and that wasn't like to abuse me. That was how willing are you to learn this process, understand this business, and how much pain will you go through in order to get to the finish line?
Yeah.
And eventually, after 3 or 4 weeks of that, we can call it hazing, you can call it whatever you want. They stopped taking my chair away because they knew what my value was. We can't do that type of stuff anymore, unfortunately. But
we should.
But we should.
We should. But because you're right. Like people, and this generation is all very, and I say this generation very loosely, but it is very selfish, and it is like, what is it? It's all about me. What are you going to give me? Versus what can I, instead of showing up and being like, this is what I can provide for you. What do you need me to do?
So when COVID kicked in, I'll never forget it. Matt Stevens calls me and says, hey, Sid, I know we're going to be going through a hard time right now. I was already pivoting, right? Mm-hmm. So we went and we started doing, I wanted to get medication in people's hands. So we started doing 20-week orders. And that was a blessing in disguise. We'll get to that. And Matt goes to me, Sid, if we're at a hard time right now, dude, I know everything's going to be okay, but if you don't need to pay, if you don't want to pay me for a while, that's okay. And I was like, no, Matt, like, we're going to be all right. But he's like, just so you know, because, you know, he makes a lot of money. He works really hard. He works, I mean, all the guys do. I shouldn't take it from anybody, but
he's just been around.
He's been around for a long time, and he was willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
With what you're saying before about, you know, showing value, when my slogan is, you don't work for me, I work for you. Like, that's my mentality every day I walk in the office. I'm watching, I'm paying attention to what I can do to make that person more productive.
I've learned that from you. I work for my employees, my team members, and I work for my clients.
Exactly, that's it. And if you focus on that, and it takes a long time to do that because most people are worried about themselves owning a business. I've never seen such growth in a business once you take the focus off yourself and, oh, can I go buy this? Or, oh, how much does this person have to make me to net more money? Like,
that goes back to your whole story of your old mentor, like telling you to sell all your shit.
Exactly. And like when I can promise you this as a business owner, once your staff starts making more money, you're making more money. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Make your goal every year to make your staff have a certain dollar amount increase, and your dollar amount increase will follow tremendously. And like, that's kind of what I've stuck with. And I've kind of got off the Sid Gordon show and put it on the Core Medical show, you know?
Yeah.
It's been big. And it's been fun that way too, you know, because you get to see these guys like buying houses and having kids and not struggling.
But it's as simple as like, you take it back to like donating cans to like people that are starving. Like, there's a certain level of not to say selfishness, but it does make you feel good to serve and to give.
Yep.
And then you start putting that on a bigger scale, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm working this for my employees, I'm giving them more. It does fill you up.
I'm gonna bounce this back towards you. So you sacrificed a long period of time at a very high level operating in the military, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the beginning, right, before you really understood it, you did it kind of for yourself to see if you could do it.
Of course.
It's like an ego thing in the beginning. And then once you realize what's really going on,
there's a bigger play.
There's a bigger play.
There's a bigger play.
Yeah. And I think a lot of guys now a lot of guys like yourself, the probably, and I didn't serve, but I'm surrounded by some absolute, you know, amazing men and women that did it for the right reasons. The same answer I get from either someone who leaves or stays is, how come you're still in it? And they're like, well, there's no mentorship left. And then when the person leaves, what's your biggest regret? Man, leaving these kids behind with no mentorship.
Always.
That's the two.
Yeah.
I get the same answer both ways. Hey, John, how come you're still in there, man? If I go, I mean, it's proof's in the pudding. You know, deployment's gone out without someone who really knew what they were going on, and someone dies.
And that's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah.
So, you know, it's a very, very aggressive analogy, but it's a very similar analogy.
But it just reminds you, like, and that's what I try to tell people, like, it's not about you. Like this you want to, and I talked about this, the thing that I run with the Modern Day Night, you know, help out with the Modern Day Night Project. These guys, when they start really getting like down, like, and they start looking inward, they fall apart. As soon as you can get them to pivot to start worrying about the people around them, it's like they have super strength. Like, you stop worrying about yourself and you start worrying about the people around you, all of a sudden you have like all this energy and all this strength, internal strength that comes from.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I never thought about this. I think one of the reasons why our staff is so effective is because of the massive amounts of repetition of hearing how hurt and in what bad places our staff, our patients are
going through. Yeah.
I think it gets them out of themselves.
They're like, fuck my problems. Yeah.
Not just that. Now that there's been so many years of it, and we've seen so much solution, every time they get that person on their plate that is, you know, suicidal, doesn't want to,
broken home, broken marriage, broken, you know, no relationship with kids.
They're just like so eager to get them through that tunnel and on the other side. And I think that's really what's made Core super effective, is that sad to say, but that repetition of hearing so many sad stories, like, you know,
you put your own life in perspective.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you hear Jason Redman's story, you hear stories that, you know, Nick has told, Rocco's told, even Mel's told. And like, the problems that we have are freaking high class problems, you know, they're high class problems. And you know, my fiance was just at Jason's event, Jason's seminar, Overcome and Survive in Blackwater. And they served him MREs for lunch one day.
You sent me a picture. I was like, don't eat that.
And you know, Jax came back and she's like, oh shit, this is a lot easier than what I've just been dealing with, you know, because we have so much luxury, right? Yeah. And the thing is too, is like, are you challenging yourself and not taking advantage of that luxury all the time? Like, are you grabbing a backpack and like going into the woods for a day and see if you can make it? Yeah. Like those types of things like will really make you evolve, you know, back in like a condensed area in Boca Raton. Like, you just have so much more gratitude for stuff. And that's why, like, you know, it's really hard to see a lot of these patients that, like, a lot of these proposed patients that, like, I don't know if I want to do this right now. Like, dude, there's a big world out there to see, man. sit in front of that television watching it on National Geographic freaking ain't the way, dude.
Oh man.
So
That's what they want you to do. They want you just to sit there
yeah.
and get there. Real quick, you said something about 20 weeks. That was something that you started. How are you doing that? What and why?
So legally, we're allowed to prescribe up to 6 months of controlled substances. And so what happened during COVID is we were concerned about supply and demand, which was an issue, and we wanted to get all of our patients at least 6 months of meds to make sure that we could pivot at some point. And as soon as that happened, we realized, wow, customer concern has been cut in half. Shipping and receiving issues have been cut in half. The pharmacy has more bandwidth. Our staff has more bandwidth. It does not interfere with our follow-ups. We still follow up every 3 to 5 weeks to make sure everything's going well. And the patients now have a supply of meds if they're traveling, if they're deployed, and it's made life so much easier. So if you can afford, there's financial benefit in it for you. If you can afford to go over and do 20 weeks of protocol versus 10, I highly urge you and beg you, because it allows my internal staff to really have more touch points and me not have to hire more staff to increase costs across the board. It's another effect that is
really
inevitable.
try to maintain as much as we've grown. You really try to, like, and you say the word time all the time, minimize personalities because of the touch points with the patients. And I've seen that over the years. Is like you really want to build these relationships with these patients and ensure that they're getting the quality care they need.
I know for a fact if you talk to any of the patient coordinators we have now that you're gonna have a great experience. If I have to hire someone new, it's questionable.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. And
so 20 weeks affords you the ability to
now someone who was managing 300 patients can manage 600 patients.
same amount of work.
Still touch points, but a lot less work, and prescriptions going out and all this. It makes life a lot easier. And the other thing too is now I can forecast the future better and keep price points down. There's a lot that goes into it, and the last thing I want to do is have to send out an email or a text from our pharmacy saying testosterone is going to go up $8 a bottle, because you know what, that shit adds up. It adds up over time, and and there's clinics out there that can work on a smaller margin. We can't. Our customer service is too good. Our ambassadors, our strategic partners, our managing partners are too good. There's more cost involved for those of you out there when you're running a solid customer service related business. Like, there's just no other way around it. When you're just, letting it ride, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. One of the other things was, is there any other, like, if you're coming into, is there any medications you want to talk about specifically that would benefit the patients that they don't even know about, maybe?
We have a lot of meds coming back. With this podcast, we'll tag some of the meds that we've had in the past that are coming back through some new pharmacies. At this point, I've been so focused on the DEA regs.
I know, man. It's like consumed your life.
That I was kind of
not too worried. Don't worry, Sid, you figured it out.
Yeah, I was just hoping that maybe we could continue, being able to provide testosterone. But I'm sure we'll have some stuff. I mean, we have a special coming up next month for existing patients. 6-month protocol, like 20% discount there. So that stuff will be coming up. But other than that, we've just been trying to maintain, staying above board and making sure that our patients are in a safe spot,
Good. I'm going to bring up one off the cuff. It's not on the thing, but semaglutide.
Tirzepatide, semaglutide. All right. For those of you out there, guys, this is not a drug to become skinny fat and get an eating
create a body dysmorphia eating disorder.
There's a lot of people out there that I'm seeing that are taking advantage of this drug to lose 30 pounds when they need to lose 5. If you need to lose 5 pounds and you want to take this drug,
eat some fucking chicken.
Reevaluate your lifestyle. If you're obese, your A1C's through the roof, and you have symptoms for this drug, yes, but we have a lot of turndowns, guys. So if you're just trying to lose 5 or 10 pounds, don't call us for that medication.
It's just been popped. The reason why I bring it up is it just popped off. The Kardashians came out and said they were using it and to lose a bunch of weight and this and that. So it's kind of getting more popular in the internet world.
Don't expect it to be around for too much longer.
I think because it's so popular, they're going to probably heavily regulate it soon.
Yeah, I mean, brand will come in and do what they did with HCG and growth hormone.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a short span on it. Plus, people are abusing the drug more and more, we prescribe the medication if it should be prescribed.
Yeah.
So don't call me and be upset if you don't get the medication
But still call.
but still call. But
have the conversation. That's what I always like. Just have the conversation, guys. Don't be afraid to have a conversation.
Exactly. Listen, it's a great alternative to statins. Before you go on statins, it's a great alternative because your weight loss comes down.
Have you looked at it? Because I've recently read some research about it with combating alcoholism. Have you heard any about that?
No.
That might be something to look into, man, because they're doing a bunch of studies about basically it. I don't know what exactly it does in the system.
It's got to have something to do with the sugar levels between that
yeah,
and alcohol.
it's creating a system to where you're not having the craving for alcohol, which would be wild if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll have to take a peek at that. I mean, there's just going back, there's always ways to cheat, right? But I've learned, Nick, that the person that wants to like take that miracle drug or do like the HCG diet, which we weren't like a part of, or take phentermine, like you're gonna be skinny, you're gonna be proud of yourself, and then you're gonna be fat again. Like
Because you haven't made the lifestyle
it's
change.
a lifestyle change, man. Like
Yeah.
everything's all about that lifestyle change. You can
Yeah, I guess somebody who's dealt with substance abuse externally for a long time,
No, I mean you see it. I mean, there's just no other way to explain it. Like, for instance, like if you put your all into your business for a month, and then you decide, all right, I'm gonna chill out next month, right?
Why did you put your all into it? That was
Exactly. So
foot on the gas, homie.
it's the same thing with gaining weight, losing weight. You have to put it all in, and then you have to stay in.
Stay in it.
And you know what the beautiful part is, if it's just weight loss, is once the weight comes off, those three pieces of the puzzle aren't all necessary. Sometimes it's just a small kick in the ass from core medical, and then diet and exercise needs to stay consistent. Sometimes it's not. But there's with tirzepatide and semaglutide, the gym isn't really even that necessary, because like the way it's working in your body, and people are overdoing it. And there's a fine line to stop and start with that drug.
Yeah.
Do I like it for the right person? Yeah, because for instance, someone who's 350, 400 pounds and has no ability to like have any hope in their life, it's an amazing drug. Someone who's 40, 50 pounds overweight, amazing drug. But for someone doing hot yoga every day that wants to lose 1.5 pounds, like
not the same,
not the best drug,
Yeah.
So it's there's a fine line there. It's just like testosterone. If you're borderline testosterone, we're going to try everything we can do to increase that level.
Without
taking
on.
testosterone.
Yeah.
That's just what we do, how we work. Testosterone, Nick, I don't know if you know this, but once you're on testosterone, you're on testosterone.
Yeah. Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, because, and I try to explain this to people. They're like, it's not a cycle. If something is broken,
Don't use the word cycle.
Yes.
When you call us.
Yes, Jesus. And I hear it in the comments all the time.
So I did this for 10 weeks and then I'm jacked forever? No, dude.
Yeah. So if something is broken, so there's three types, and this is Nick talking now, my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor, but there's three types of things going on here. One, age, natural decline. Not going to fix it. As you get older, right?
Way faster now than it was 20 years ago.
For a lot of different reasons in society, right? A lot of this, our food, our environment, whatever. All right. So anyways, you have age. Then you have type 1 or type 2 hypergonadism. Again, problem there. If you've been exposed to TBI and your pituitary gland in your brain has been fucked up, or you've had damage to your gonads, like my business partner, or somebody who's had prostate cancer, like one of my coaches that's with Core Med. At 19, he got testicular cancer, lost a nut. All right, like, not gonna.
Well, that right there isn't just losing a nut. That right there is like mental trauma too. It's really hard when you're 19 years old with like that. That's a different,
right.
That's,
and he didn't even go. He lived with it for like 20 years and didn't know. And then, anyways, my point being is there's those three things are like not going to get better.
They're not. And
right?
They're not going to get better. And you know,
that's why you're on it. You get back to where you're supposed to be, and then you're on it for life.
There's a few things I want to add to that. There are things that we should be looking for, like to help with that process. So just because we're increasing that testosterone, the reason why our testosterone does decline, there's some things that we can do there to help avoid some damage.
Furthering the damage.
Furthering the damage.
Okay.
It's just like your food intake.
Yeah.
Which we just
right.
spoke about. Exercise, drinking the right waters, like things like that are super important. Like looking at the overall picture of your lifestyle. If you think you're just going to take testosterone and live a happy, healthy life, and
no, I was on. I mean,
no.
Yeah, that's what I was like. And people are like, "Oh, well, test makes it easy for you to look the way you look now, Nick." I'm like, motherfucker, look at before and after photo. I was on. I mean, a different clinic, but I was on with testosterone before. But my lifestyle, I was drinking, I was eating shit, I wasn't sleeping properly. Everything was fucked up.
You're a hard person to talk to about, like, not a hard person. You're a great example. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not the average. It's an intimidating person to speak to,
right?
Because you work 10 hours, you train for 2 hours, you go home, you spend time with your family, you get the right sleep, and you repeat the process.
7 days a week.
7 days a week. You repeat the process. That is a very common theme of the 1%ers in the military that I know. But
dumb it down, Sid.
So for the guy out there that is listening to this, challenge you, get your blood work done. Start with a 10-minute walk. Graduate into it, and I think for me, that all-in mentality for people is really hard. Just get 1% better each day, kind of like what you talk about sometimes. Like challenge yourself to challenge yourself to challenge yourself. Just like, keep going. And what's cool with you is like when someone does start that process and they start to really feel good about it, then all the things that you post really give them a goal. Right?
It's a snowball effect.
It's a snowball effect.
Like we're talking about, like who you hang out with, all this
exactly.
kind of, it's all a compounding interest.
And like to be able to be on your repetition and stay on it consistently is a goal. Like there's a lot of people out there like, yeah, I want to do that, but can you do it? Right?
It's a lot at first. So that's like you said, 1%.
But then it becomes real. But then it becomes. And it might not be as aggressive as yours, but it's way aggressive than the place I started in.
Dude, if you just look at America today, it doesn't take much to be awesome these days.
No.
I'm being real, man.
No.
Like you just put a little effort into your
exactly.
life and you're the top 10% of society right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a point right now of people that are just getting too comfortable. Right, they just get too comfortable in there, and we just went to this event and I fucking love this so much. Cody got on stage and he's like, eventually he's like, hey guys, just so you guys all know, the person from where I come from. If you guys don't know Cody Alfred, check him out. He's cool.
One of my fellow Raiders.
Those of you guys that don't know me, where I come from, if you're fat and don't shoot your gun quite often, you die first. And the whole room was like, I was like, what the fuck. Sure enough, some people walked out. Rest of the people came to the booth. They're like, damn, man, that was impactful. Thank you. I needed that.
Well, the reality is we need to be like this whole thing about not like telling people the truth.
My point was this. I got on stage and followed up with it. And I said, hey, guys, I'm not any of your friends. I don't really know any of you guys, right? Like, I don't know you, but...
Apparently neither was Cody.
I don't know any of you guys. And unfortunately, like, you all have friends, you have family, right? Yeah. And maybe it takes something like this. Maybe your friends aren't being that direct with you and letting you know that there's answers and solutions out there. And, if you have a friend that's in shape and you're snowballing out of shape, that really isn't your friend because he has the ability to help you.
Right?
Right? So, like, that's the way I kind of
look at it. If you were doing something stupid or you were in a position to where, like, maybe you didn't see it, maybe you didn't see the negativity that you were bringing to your life. Wouldn't you want your friend to be like, hey, Sid, can you pull your head out of your ass?
Hell yeah. Like
you're fucking your life up, man.
Jax has done it before. My other business partner's done it before.
Sure, Jax does.
Yeah,
does a
you know,
lot.
I'm like, or now she can just smell it. That guy's no good. I'm like, oh, all right, Jax, don't worry, he's fine.
Way. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, fuck. You know,
I've had to, what is it called? Eating crow or something like that.
Like that. Yeah. Or buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
same thing.
She's like, I don't think it's a good idea. And then you're like, no, it's fine, babe. And then, 5 weeks later, you're like, oh shit.
I got to go home and tell her this now. Because if she finds it through someone else, she's really going to rub it in.
Right, yeah.
But like, you know, those are the situations kind of that I you know, kind of really trying to implement now when I'm doing these speaking engagements. It's like, listen, man, I'm not your friend. Take from this what you want. But if you don't feel like you're being the best that you can be, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Come talk to a staff member. Go find someone who you feel like can help you.
And that's the reality is, here's the deal, is like, they know something's off, right? Like, you know, if something's off in your life, whether it's internal or external, like, you know something's off. Like, stop ignoring it. There's little signs, like anxiety. That's a sign that something is not congruent with your life. Depression. That's a sign that something is not congruent with your life. These things this is your body giving you a sign that something's fucked and you need to deal with it.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, if you lie down in bed at night and go to close your eyes, and you're not, I'm not saying you're not stressed out, but you can't find peace in closing your eyes and relaxing and knowing like your day has been complete, reanalyze your situation. That's the way I look at my day. Did I accomplish everything that I could accomplish? Yes, there's some anxiety for the following day because I know what's on my plate, but you know, I signed up for that shit.
Yeah, you do. You create it. You create your own stuff.
And then,
are you grateful?
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me?
Like, no, at night. Like, do you like intentionally lay down and go like and think about the things? Like, when does that happen in your day that you're just like, fuck, man, I'm so glad.
It typically happens on like Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
That's something.
Yeah, no, but like I get a chance to really slow down on the weekend a little bit, simply because like, you know, people like.
That's funny. That is when I get messages from you.
Yeah, on the weekends is really kind of when I slow down. It's not about work.
Yeah.
The funny thing is people are like, well, you know, he must not be involved in his house and, you know, hang out with his kids because he works so much.
Oh, fuck. I know that's bullshit.
Or like, you know, you're like, you just, the time's there. The time's there. Just manage it properly and take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right? The time's there. Like, and yeah, am I selfish sometimes? Fuck yeah, dude. Like, do I need to get away from everyone? And do people not understand that sometimes that are close to me? Hell yeah, I'm human, just like you.
Yep.
But the thing is that when I've said this before, when a man is super successful, the people that suffer are the ones closest to them that live inside the same household. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, if you explain things properly and show the effort, they understand it. But there's definitely times to where it's hard. But put the time in. That's it. You know, and gratitude should 100% follow. If gratitude is not a part of your day at some point, like then you're probably doing something wrong there too. I'd say too. You know, I'm so grateful that this business is in the place it is, and like we're surrounded by such amazing people. Like, that's my gratitude at this point. It's like, just think of, if you really think about like that event we had, like how fucking people were like, oh my God, this place is like.
Did you watch the interviews that I did?
Yeah, unbelievable. Same answer.
Same answer.
It was crazy.
It was just the people and the family. Yeah, it was wild. It wasn't about all the things. Like, you pulled out all the stops, dude. Like, there was all kinds of cool shit to do there, and everybody was just like, honestly, it's just more about.
Yeah,
the people and meeting everybody and feeling like a big family family reunion.
There was I'm not crying. But the lights fucking me up.
Sure.
No, I promise. But the event was amazing. Like, the guys that are filming right now actually were at the event. And they got to spend a lot of time there.
Yeah.
After the event, and they travel all around the country filming events. And I don't think Shelby would lie to me because. We're friends at this point.
Because you pay him?
No. And you know, these guys are unbelievable, and like even they come up to me like, listen, we filmed a lot of events like this. This was really pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
And I still get text messages. People already now are asking me if I'm having another one this year.
And then one same year?
Yeah, I said.
You guys, what are you guys, high?
I said, I don't know if you're following me, but there's some bigger fish to fry right now. But I'd love to be able to do it, But
please don't ever have that idea of doing two of those in 1 year.
God, no. Well, now we're gonna make it a little bit easier moving forward. I'm not gonna try to bite that off. Now that I have a system, we're gonna follow that system. But it's great to see the guys like the day after the event, people are texting. A month after the event, people are texting. 2 months after the event, people are texting, still posting. And
it's an awesome weekend, man.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, and I got to learn a lot, and it'll be better next year. I know what I did wrong, I know what I did right, and I'm going to make it better. And I mean, the whole picture's getting better. I just right now the biggest thing right now with us is being able to get consistent and getting through what might be coming. And I
have a hard time. So like, and I could be wrong. This is just me talking, but
I don't think much is changing.
I don't think much is changing. I think they've created a new normal.
Well, the fact that they postponed a major change, tells me that.
And the longer it goes, the more it's just going to be status quo.
Like, how can you say, all right, we're going to do this and then not do it, and then we're going to do this and then not do it? Like, eventually, it's
what we do.
It's just kind of like allowing your kid to like take a piss in the living room multiple times over and over again.
Now this is where he pisses.
This is where he pisses now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I should have used the word a dog, maybe a dog, but
hey man.
But other than that, man, we do have that gratitude, and I want to thank all the patients out there, and Nick especially for coming down here to Florida and spending the time with his staff. And
I keep trying to come down here more. I'm like, do you need me down there for anything? I need to get some.
Well, the last time I tried to come, it was a complete shit show. The airport flooded.
Oh yeah, I spent all day in the Atlanta club, in the Delta Club in Atlanta.
Well, at least
I went home that night. I flew early in the morning to get here early, and then at night I caught the last flight back, and I got home at like 10 p.m. or something.
Yeah,
spent the day in Atlanta.
For those of you out there that haven't flown in a while, the airport's a scary, scary place. It's don't ever think you're going to be on time where you're going. Go the day before.
Or be careful where you buy McDonald's French fries.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Enough said.
Enough said. But thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. And
and listen, guys, there's a link below. Get your blood work checked. Again, the process is this: you fill out the link. Somebody calls you, or you get an appointment. They explain the process to you, and the process pretty much goes like this: you put a rec in, you get your blood work. They get the blood work back. They say 48 hours. But really,
it could be longer depending on what state you're in.
Yeah.
Right now the amount of people that are transitioning to telemedicine has really screwed things up quite a bit. You have people that, once again, aren't fully compliant, doing telemedicine all over the country, so it kind of clogs the system.
Once it comes back, longest 72 hours.
Up to 4 days max, and then
Really?
we'll get you in on a.
Mine always goes back in 2 days.
Yeah, well, that's different, Nick. Sorry, you got a few perks involved here, and then basically telemedicine from there, protocol from there.
Well, you get the labs come back, you do your telemedicine appointment, and then they make the recommendation, and then boom, you're in.
Meds in.
Yeah. How long is the pharmacy taking now?
So some news on pharmacies real quick. We just got aboard. I just brought on 5 new pharmacies.
What? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, five new pharmacies across the country. In the states that things are slower in, I've actually found facilities in those states to expedite shipping time. Even though if the pharmacy's 48 hours, now the shipping time and pharmacy time isn't 72.
Yeah.
So we've increased some time there. We're doing everything that we can to get meds out, but my goal in a perfect world is for someone to be able to sign up on February 1st of 2024 and have meds by the 10th of that month. That's my goal on an average for 2024. So I'm working out the kinks now.
10 days.
10 days.
Start to finish
on a new patient.
On a new patient.
Existing patient, 72 hours.
Okay.
So that's my goal to you guys out there. I got a lot more goals right now, but we'll start with that one.
Sid's working, man. He's working for you.
I'm working for you. I work for you guys.
That's true. That is so true. Hey, thanks, man. And I really do. I like, you've been a blessing to my family and a blessing to so many people. And dude, your hard work does not go unnoticed, and really appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
back at
it's
you,
a
man.
lot. It's a lot. But guys, the link's below. Drop your comments below, and if you if you have any the best thing is if you have a question, drop the comment below and we'll do it. Or hit up Core Medical on Instagram, any of the social media, and get your questions asked, whether it's symptoms, protocols, whatever, access to meds, it's all out there. So
around end of October, beginning of November, we'll have an idea what things are going to look like. So we'll be doing another podcast right around then to give you guys an update on any laws changes or any non-law changes.
So that's a great point. Motherfuckers, subscribe to the podcast.
There you go.
Yeah, so you can get notified. Hit that little like bell and all that jazz. Yeah, hit the subscription thing. Anyways, thank you guys. Thanks, Sid.
Absolutely,
Thanks, everybody.
Man. Thanks.